Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I'm Synolve Craft and we're back for The Queen Speaks. So now, what we're going to be talking about today is Juneteenth, but more specifically, how we can build beyond Juneteenth. And I'll give you some ideas that I've been thinking and I have been meditating with the ancestors about. So stay tuned and let's talk. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave me a comment below and share the video so that we can stay connected. And be sure to sign up for my newsletter on Synolve.com. And so we can stay connected and keep the conversation going. As you know, Juneteenth is a very important celebration, and it started in 1865 when finally the last enslaved African, finally found out that they were free in Galveston, Texas. Texas was the holdout. And so when they found out they were finally free, they were excited. And so there's a lot going on. In 1863, after the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln signs the Emancipation Proclamation, but doesn't get to the last stronghold. And General Lee has to surrender. All that happens. It doesn't happen for 2 years later. In 1865. And so when the last slaves found out that they were free, no one really came together and celebrated. And that's just African, right? That's just the African in us, that until everyone is free, no one is free. As long as we're trying to get one person out and trying to get one of our family members together, look, honey, ain't nobody to celebrate until we're all free. And you couldn't really celebrate as long as you still had relatives, and they still had relatives, and the ancestors still had people who had come over from Africa who were still enslaved. So they waited until 1865 to have this amazing celebration called Juneteenth. After all of that, and it is also the year later in December of 1865, when President Lincoln and the United States ratified the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, or the enslavement, forceful enslavement of people, especially African people, our ancestors here in the United States of America. Right? we are excited to celebrate and to continue in the tradition of our ancestors, and we still celebrate today. Now, the ancestors, when they found out, of course, many were shocked. Some were just in bewilderment. They didn't know what to do. But honey, the others of us, after they got over the shock, honey, they danced and they celebrated, and they had these wonderful ceremonies to the ancestors, thanking them. Here's that African traditional religion coming back out again, thanking them for all of the sacrifices and all of the things that they had done. In gratitude for the sacrifices that they had made, in gratitude for the hope that they had instilled in them, and that had carried them from on those horrible ships, and being enslaved and their families torn apart. And so they celebrated. Many drank with a very popular soda at the time, which was a strawberry soda. They ate barbecue, and that's when the barbecue pit, this whole thing of black folks getting together, Africans on the continent of the United States, in the country, I keep saying continent, y'all, in the country of the United States, getting together and barbecuing. This is how this all began. This is how this all began. Celebrating freedom, celebrating that now we were finally free. As a people, we were finally free. And although we had challenges that were coming, honey, baby, we were free. And so the ancestors celebrated, barbecuing all kinds of, girl, I can just taste it. All kinds of good foods. And it was June, so, you know, they would have had watermelon, just all kinds of good, yummy foods. And so the aromas and the ceremonies that were going forth to bless the ancestors and to bless the day and to be grateful for having fought, having stood, and having worked for freedom, that now this moment was finally here. And so the name Juneteenth is a Portuguese. Am I saying that right? Mantua. I don't know if I said that right, but anyway, Portmanteau, which is just a combination of the two things, the month, June, and then the day, which is the 19th. Celebrate. So those are the two things that make up Juneteenth. And so many of our ancestors moved to the north. Some came to Memphis, where I am. Many went on, and some stayed in Mississippi, like my family. They, some stayed, and our ancestors, and they stayed in Mississippi, and they began to renegotiate this so-called employer-employee relationship, and many became sharecroppers throughout the South. And we're still tenuously kind of forging and trying to figure out this relationship even today. So now, how do we celebrate today? Well, there are parades, there are barbecues. Some just enjoy their families and just sit at home and do prayers and meditations with their families, or they do amazing things, walk in the garden, and we still eat some of the same amazing foods that our forefathers, our ancestors might have eaten, or we have kind of redone some of those foods, modernized some of those foods today. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. No matter what you do, if you're at home alone, you sat in your garden, you took a walk today, you meditated and you prayed, you gave thanks to the ancestors. No matter what you did today, if you spent it with family, you text family, you were on social media, no matter what you did, it is a beautiful, beautiful day. Now, how do we reimagine this day? How do we go forward beyond Juneteenth to make the ancestors, continue to make the ancestors proud? How do we reimagine it? Well, I have a couple of ideas, and one comes from Eco Simpson. His name is spelled E-K-O-W Simpson. He did a video today and on Coromante, which is a region in Ghana, and this region is a region of the Akan people, and several ethnic groups make up the Akan people: the Ashanti, the Fanti, and the Akayan, and etc. Now, the Coromante people can not only be found in Ghana, but they can also be found in Jamaica and throughout the Caribbean. So, one of the words that they say is Koreyi, which means oneness. Koreyi means oneness. And I think from this word, we can find great inspiration, not only here, those of us on throughout the diaspora, throughout here in the Americas, the Caribbean, the UK, wherever we are, but also for those of us who are on the continent of Africa. Koreye means oneness, as I said, and it means let's come together. Let's come together and build. And so this is the time to come together across the continent, around the world, the diaspora here, wherever you may be in the States, or wherever you may be, UK, Caribbean, wherever you might be, to come together and to build and to grow together. And so one is to, of course, to celebrate the ancestors, to give thanks and to bless the ancestors for all that they have done. That's how we must begin. It must begin on the solid foundation of blessing and thanks first to the ancestors for all that they have done and all that they have sacrificed and all that they have fought and died for. 2, meditate on the path forward. Meditation is the key. Meditating on how we can move forward. And then as for each of us is going to be different. For some of us, it may look like working on our individual family units. It may be building and educating here, wherever you are, whether it's throughout the diaspora. It may mean also, thirdly, which is big and huge, reconnecting with our African brothers and sisters on the continent. And that may mean going back home to the motherland, whether it is a visit, whether it is to invest, whether it is to build your home and to build schools. Korea, this is what we must be doing in this season. This is what we must be doing at this juncture, in this time, prophetically. We must become one people across the whole world. One African people as we were before, prior to Columbus, right? Prior to colonization. We were one people, whether we had migrated to different lands and different places, even the Americas before Columbus, whether we had migrated, we were still one people no matter where we were. No, and so today we must reclaim that heritage prophetically. We must walk in the way of our ancestors and reclaim the heritage and know that Africa is ours and we are Africa. And we are our ancestors and our ancestors are us. And together we will move forward and we will work together as one mighty people. And we will grow and we will build. Blessings to you wherever you are and whenever you watch this message. Know that I am here for you and I love you, honey. I love you, my brother and my sister. And together we will work and we will grow and we will build. Blessings to you. Thank you for joining me so much for another episode of The Queen Speaks, where I'm sharing my prophetic messages. I'm sharing a bit of history. I'm sharing a bit of my voice and my love for the continent and my love for African people. Honey, I was African, not people. I don't know what accent that was, but for African people, wherever you are. Know that, honey, you are loved, you are blessed, and baby, you are free. You are free. I love you so much. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're talented. You're special. You're creative. You know why? Honey, baby, because you are. Because you are. I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with somebody. Share this with somebody, all right, who needs to hear it and who has the same spirit, right? Who knows the season and the time and is hearing the call of the ancestors to arise. Bye-bye, guys. I love you so much. You can also support me at Synolve on Patreon and PayPal, and be sure to send me an email. You can support me there. So I look forward to putting out more content. I hope you're enjoying this content, and I look forward to connecting with you real soon.